Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marissa Michelle if you're new here, and today's video is my labor and delivery story time video. Oh my god, I've been trying to sit down and film this ever since the babies were born. Life has been pretty crazy trying to adjust to life with not just one baby but two babies at the same time. I guess I'm gonna say it's difficult but rewarding at the same time, I guess. Probably 10 times more harder than I thought it was going to be for sure. I guess let's just get into the story before I keep rambling on forever and ever. Yes, that spit up on my shirt. Ignore it. I'm a mom to twins. What can I say?
This is the soundtrack to my life. The soundtrack to my life. I'm super paranoid, like a sixth sense.
So, it all started October 8th. I went to the doctor and they did ultrasounds and everything. Everything was looking great. I was 36 weeks. They said that one of the babies was just measuring a little smaller, so they just wanted me to go to the specialist so that they can, redo the measurements and make sure that everything's going good and all that. Nothing alarming was going on. They just wanted to make sure that their measurements were going to match up and all this stuff. So I said, okay, we made an appointment for that Thursday, which is October the 11th. I had a scheduled C-section for October 27th. And we were all set to go. That's when I was going to deliver at like 37 and some days or whatever. Almost 38 weeks, and I was so happy because I wanted to keep these babies in as long as possible, obviously. And so someone is blowing some leaves or something. I go to the specialist. Anyways, I go to the specialist. It's about 11:30, 12. I'm sitting there waiting to go back. They finally call me back. I go in for an ultrasound. And the ultrasound tech, she's just doing all her measurements. She says, let me send it to the doctor because he has to go do a C-section himself. So let's get this done as fast as possible. So they're doing all that. Then he comes in and he's looking at the screen and he's telling the ultrasound tech, go here, do this, whatever. She's doing her thing. He's doing his, looking at it, whatever he needs to do. So then as I'm looking at the doctor and his face is, he has no emotion. So I'm like, I don't know if this is good, if it's bad, what's going on. So basically, he's like, okay, give me a sec. I'm going to come back. He leaves, comes back into the room. He's like, okay, Marissa, we're going to go ahead and get those babies out today. And I was like, what? When he said that, my heart literally dropped because I was not expecting that whatsoever. And I was so confused, first of all, why? I have a scheduled C-section. Why are they coming out today? Second of all, I was freaking worried. And I was like, okay, is something wrong? But nothing was wrong. He just said one of them was measuring smaller and they don't want that baby to be falling behind or something like that. I don't really know exactly what they were saying because my head was just so all over the place at the time. So we were actually going to go to Austin that day after my doctor's appointment at the specialist. But I had to call Eric and be like, hey, we're not going to be able to go to Austin today. We're having some babies. So that's exactly what I called him and told him. And he was like, are you serious? And I said, yes. And he was still at home sleeping. And so he's like, okay, well, I'm going to get up and get ready. So he gets up, he's getting ready. I'm at the doctor's. They put the monitors on me to do the little testing for their heartbeats. After that, they're like, okay, go straight over to the hospital after you leave here, and they have all your paperwork there. You're all ready to go. Let's get you some babies. So I'm freaking out and I'm like, oh my god, this is so crazy. So I come and I pick up Eric and I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe this is actually happening. I call my mom, I tell her, I'm like, hey, it's time, no joke, for real, the babies are gonna come today. They're taking them out today. Eric called his mom, his parents, and his grandma and everybody. I called my family, obviously. And my mom was like, okay, I'm leaving work. I'm on my way to San Antonio. So then we go to the hospital. I get all checked in. They put me in my gown and all that. They're putting in my IVs and everything, taking blood, drawing blood and all that, all the good hospital stuff. Luckily there was no one back there that day, so the hospital staff was so nice to like let everybody back there, because usually you're supposed to have just one person, but we were all back there just waiting until our scheduled time. So we were gonna go in and do the C-section. My doctor was gonna do it around like 6. Ended up getting pushed back because she had an emergency C-section, and then they had to clean up the whole room and everything and sanitize everything, put all new tools, everything. So then she came, she talked to me, asked me how I was feeling. She's like, let's get you some babies. Okay, anesthesiologist came and talked to me, told me what was gonna happen. And that was the most scariest part for me. Was I was so scared for the needle going into my back. That was the scariest part of the whole C-section for me. So we go back, and well, our family members go back. They have to go to the waiting room, and then they end up taking them to the room that I was gonna be in. So they're all just waiting in there, like just waiting. Then they give Eric his little jumpsuit uniform to put on. So he's putting that on. They take me into the room first to put the needle and everything in my back and all that. So I'm sitting on this table that I'm going to be laying on, and I'm facing the lady in front of me. I don't even know who she was, nurse or whatever, I don't know. But I'm facing her, and she's telling me to like put my arms around her waist, and that she was holding my arms like this, leaning forward with my back slouched, so that way you know, my spine can poke out more or whatever. So he's telling me he's gonna do the spinal, blah blah blah, all this stuff. And then I see him getting his tools, and I start freaking out even more because I freaking hate needles so much. So he's like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and do it. So I feel like the coldness from like the little, you know, they clean your the spot they're about to put the needle in. So they do that. I feel the coldness, and then I'm just sitting there like breathing in, breathing out. She tells me to take a big deep breath in, big deep breath out, and then she's like, okay, and I was just like, okay, I'm ready. And she said, no, he's done already. And I turned around and I looked at the guy. Well, I didn't turn around, but like I turned my head and I looked at him. He was like on the side of me already. He was like, I'm already done. And I was like, are you kidding me? I didn't feel anything. Like, why was I freaking out this whole time? So I felt nothing. So then I end up laying down. Immediately I can start feeling my legs tingling, like everything just going numb. It's so crazy. My arms, they put them out, and then they let Eric come in, and he sits right here on the stool next to my head, and they put the sheet up, and they're getting all their tools. My doctor comes in, Dr. Satterfield, and she's sitting there putting her gloves on, make sure all her tools are set up, all that good stuff. Then she's like, okay, we're gonna get started. So they have like a headlight, like an overlight that they put over you so they could see. And when they put that light there, I could see like my reflection down, so I could see what was going on the other side of the curtain. And I was so scared, and I didn't know if I should tell them, like, can y'all move that light down and whatnot, because I was like, okay, they need the light to see. So I was like, okay, I'm just not gonna look at the light. But every now and then I could tell I kept looking at the light, and it was so weird because I could see what was happening, but I was trying not to look at it. But I didn't want to tell them because I was like, you know what, they need the light, I'm not gonna say nothing. So they started cutting me open, doing all that stuff, and I honestly felt no pain. I didn't even feel pressure or like them pulling or anything. I know a lot of women, when I talked to them, they said they felt a lot of pressure during the C-section. I didn't feel a thing, honestly. I don't know. It was just probably the best experience ever because I could see what was happening, but it wasn't hurting me. I didn't feel pressure. I didn't feel no hands. I didn't feel anything at all. And I was so warm and toasty the whole time. They gave me those like warm blankets, and it was just so nice. So then out comes baby A at 7:57 p.m. weighing 5.4 pounds, and I hear his cry, and immediately like I can feel my eyes watering, like I can like feel like tears like falling down my face, but like it was just like I don't even know what to explain, but I was so happy. Like finally one of my boys was here. So they tell Eric he could stand up and take pictures, so he stands up, starts taking pictures, and he's like, oh my god, like it was just such a beautiful moment, just for like, because I couldn't look over the curtain like get up and look over the curtain, but it was such a beautiful moment for me to be able to look at Eric and see his facial reaction to when he saw the baby for the first time. And that was Jacob Nolan Nunez, and he is the oldest brother, obviously. Baby A, he was the stubborn one all throughout my pregnancy. Only got one good picture of him during my entire pregnancy on the ultrasound, but he was finally here, and they went and they took him to get cleaned up and all that stuff. So Eric sits back down and they start getting the second baby out. Well, baby B was ready to come out, so he started crawling out on his own. It was so funny because I could hear them laughing, and they were like, oh my god, he's coming out on his own, he's crawling out on his own. And so he was like trying to make his way out on his own, and she finally pulls him out. I can see it on the reflection from that dang light. She pulls him out, and I hear a second cry, and literally, like, as soon as I heard that, like, I felt like my whole shirt was getting soaking wet because I was just like tears everywhere. And then Eric stands up again, and it's just his facial reaction was just so nice. I loved it so much. And he's taking pictures, and he's like, oh my god. And that baby is Joshua Wyatt Nunez, and he was born at 7:59 p.m. and he was weighing 5.3 pounds. So they were right there neck and neck with each other. And also Jacob was 18 inches long. Joshua was 17 3/4 inches. Then they had a NICU team there just to, assess them and see if they were going to need to go to the NICU or to like the transitional, which is in between the NICU and the nursery. But they checked them all out, and they were like, they're good to go, but they don't have to go to the NICU. And honestly, like, when they told me that, I literally felt like a big weight off my shoulders, because I know, like, with a lot of twins, they do go to the NICU, and it's like a scary place for parents. I just didn't want it. But I knew if it had to happen, it was going to be good, like better for them. And I have heard, so many success stories with NICUs. So I was just like, okay, if they have to go, they have to go. But when she said that, literally, like, my heart felt so complete that I was going to be able to take the babies with me to my room. So they clean them up, they finish up with me, and then they give me both the babies, and I'm holding them, and they roll us to our room. So we're going up the elevator, we're going to the room. Immediately, the first person I saw was my mom, and her face just lit up so much when she saw me walking. Well, not walking, obviously. Rolling into that room with 2 babies in my hand. Like, literally, like, it was so awesome. I just loved it so much. So then, seeing everybody's facial reactions was just, like, probably my favorite part, because I knew how I felt, but just to see, I'm getting so emotional talking about it, but just to see, like, everybody else's faces, and, like, I'm so hormonal, why am I gonna cry? Just to see everyone's faces, and, like, how much, like, they already, oh my god. Just to see how much they already had loved the boys so much, literally was the best thing in the world. I just remember being so happy, because I was like, all these people are here, and they all love the babies so much, and it was so beautiful. And I don't know why I'm crying, just ignore it. But it was such a beautiful moment. And Jesus Christ. Oh my god. So anyways, moving on from that, because I'm gonna keep crying. That was pretty much it for the labor and delivery. It literally went so fast that I think it was like 40 something minutes when I was in there. Recovery part has been amazing. When I was in the hospital, I stayed for 3 days. The first day, it was obviously a night, so I just really slept. It's pretty much all I did. The next day, I got up and I was walking. I showered. The day after that, I was walking by myself, walking around the hospital with my mom, pushing the babies. Like, everything was just so great. All the nurses, all the staff, everybody was just so great to me, and I'm so thankful for them. Probably the best experience I've ever had. I don't really have anything to compare this pregnancy to, but I just want to say that my pregnancy personally was the best pregnancy ever, I would say. I don't know, but to me it was such a great pregnancy. I had 0 to no complications. It was pretty tough, but it was tolerable, you know. My babies were healthy, you know. My recovery, it's been fast and easy. When I came home, I was already up and moving, walking. I was out probably a few days after being home. I was already, you know, traveling from here to Austin, you know, bending over, doing whatever I had to do, showering on my own. Like, everything was just like such a speedy, fast recovery. When I went for my 6-week postpartum, my doctor was like, you healed so fast. Like, I'm so, you know, amazed at it. She said, like, my pregnancy was the easiest, like, longest twin pregnancy she's ever had. And I was just so happy to hear that. She's literally the best, and I'm so grateful for her, because literally I'm gonna cry again. Oh my god. But she gave us these little onesies that say Team Satterfield, and it's just the cutest thing ever. These babies are literally the greatest thing in my entire life. I love them so much. I'm so happy. I just feel so overjoyed. Like, that's what I feel, so overjoyed. Every time I talk about the babies, every time I take a new picture of the babies, every time anything with the babies, like, I just feel so overjoyed with it. I forgot to mention this, but I did deliver at 36 weeks and 5 days. So in case you guys are wondering, I made it to 36 weeks and 5 days. If you guys have any other questions, let me know down below. I didn't have any stitches. I didn't have any staples. I just had the glue sealing stuff. And that's it. So if you guys have any questions, let me know down below. I will gladly answer them in another video. I'll do a Q&A, whatever you guys need. And that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in my next video, and don't forget to subscribe down below and give this video a big thumbs up.